Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I wanted to give everybody an update in what's been going on in my life, the shop, computers, sleeper builds, etc. I know it's been a little bit and I haven't posted in a while, but I just wanted to kind of clue y'all in as what's been going on. I've been super busy, definitely not been slacking. I wish I would have got some before pictures. I'm kind of bad about that, not doing huge projects and not getting before pictures instead of just just to show you everything that I've done. But anyway, I'm here in the shop now, possibly where I will start to build computers. It's obviously a shared space, me, the family, and then obviously I got to work in here besides just computers, doing projects, construction, whatever. So without further ado, I'm going to show y'all kind of the area around the shop, just to show you what I've been working with, kind of a few things that I've done here and there. So front door, it's not great. It's kind of temporary. I just put up a little something. It really didn't have much of anything here, and we're in Texas, and the insulation is a big thing, trying to keep it somewhat cool. But anyway, we've got a little quick access area here, and still in the process of cleaning. This is by far not the end. A lot of this stuff we're going to be getting rid of, selling. A lot of old tools, etc. And you've seen the PCs there. We had to move a fridge and freezer in here, put an AC up. It's old, it works, not great, but at least it knocks the edge off in here. Had to build a wall. We're still not finished with everything. This was just a quick get it in here, get it ready. Did change all the lights from the fluorescents to LEDs. It's been a while doing that. Just kind of random stuff in a few different places. Again, this is not a finished project. This is kind of, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way through. This place was packed full. It still is packed full. I still have to cut down and take a few things out, try to reorganize things a little better. Finished insulating, fixing the insulation and whatnot. So, and a few of the projects my wife is working on. So, well, here is one of the things that I've been messing around with, and there's the other. Just happened to be looking at stuff online and found these two PCs, actually from the same guy. He had this one originally posted, decided to take it. He had it listed, I think, for $300, and I'll kind of go over the specs. I said, well, what would you take? I actually thought that $300 was a fair price for it, but he said, I'll take $250, and I said, great. Showed up, and he said, yeah, I got another one I'm building. Well, he was clearing out old stuff. He no longer games, whatever. And I was like, well, okay, I'll look at it. I'll take it. Give me first dibs or whatever on it. And I'll go over all that stuff here in a minute. But this one is a very nice older computer. This acrylic side panel, still a really nice Corsair case. And again, I'll explain a few of the things here. Specs wise, we have an i7 6700K. We had 32 gigs of DDR4, I think 2400. But right now it's only 16. These are matching GTX 1080 Zotacs, because he did plan on SLIing them. I do have the SLI bridge, but he decided not to do that. And an awesome EVGA 1000 watt platinum power supply. I know it's overkill, but he liked doing it, and he some of this stuff I've obviously changed a little bit, and it is a little dusty, but it was immaculate. The cable management that he did, he took a lot of pride in his work. He did an awesome job. He's definitely a really good PC builder. It does have a 512 SSD, a little older, but still works great. Of course, this motherboard does have a M.2 slot, but we don't have one for this. It's fine. Just the SSD is perfectly fine. So it did also come with, as you can see, this little extra SATA cable there. It also had a 1 terabyte SSD in there. I took that out to use it. It also, like I said, it had 32 gigs in there, and this is a quad channel kit. So I have plans for that. I'll keep discussing that here in a minute. What else did it have? It had Blu-ray drives, because he was ripping Blu-rays, and I was like, you know what, that might be something that I get into. We'll see. But I went ahead and took those drives out. He custom made this top piece for the vent just to give it some gap here, which I thought was really neat, to allow it to exhaust out. So he like I said, computer works flawlessly, no issues whatsoever. He did a clean install. It doesn't have a Wi-Fi adapter, but it's not a big deal. I can get one. But yeah, it's a Z170 Sabertooth board as well, so it's more of a high-end board as well. So again, he just an amazing build. As it sits right now, I really think that $300 price is fine for what it is right now, let alone what it actually came with at $250. So again, I thought this was a steal. He was fine with it. Like I said, he's the one that offered me the $250, and I jumped on it. So and what was kind of interesting was it was listed for almost a week, and I just never seen it. I'm surprised no one else did or grabbed it. So, but let me go on with the other parts. Like I said, here is the rest of the RAM, the other SSD, and then of course our Blu-ray drives here. A lot of this other stuff I'll go over here in just a minute. There's the box for it, a couple of boxes for the other stuff as well. So on to this PC. Now this is the one that he also had but hadn't finished cleaning up and everything. So I was like, well, shoot me the specs whenever you get it. He sent it to me. So what we have in here is an i9-10980 XE. So high-end desktop, Intel 10th gen. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest chip when it came out, but for the price, which I'll go over here in a minute, for the price that he gave it to me with, I wasn't going to complain. It, again, here's the matching Zotac 1080 that he went with it. This one, the RAM in there, you can see it's a better kit. Trident Z RGB. This was a 4000 kit at CL14. So some of the best DDR4 RAM that you could get. It was 2 sticks, 2 separate kits of 16 each, and it is in quad channel because this does support quad channel memory. So some of you might have noticed it's got a Thermalright tower cooler. Now this wasn't out, this particular model wasn't out then, and as you can see it says Noctua, but there are actually nothing left Noctua in here because he did have a Noctua tower cooler. I think it was the NHU12S, I believe, and when I got it, I of course always stress test everything. It would not do 100% load. Well, this CPU is an 18 core 36 thread. It's power hungry. Wasn't really ever going to handle it. So it did have, he also installed a second fan on it as a push-pull configuration, but it's just a smaller single tower cooler. The fans would ramp up immediately. I think it would last like 2 minutes in Cinebench before it started the thermal throttle. So again, it was trying its hardest, just wasn't going to do it, you know. So I decided that I would upgrade it because I got it at such a good price. So here's these Lian Li fans. I think these are 200 millimeter fans. These are awesome quiet. The whole system is whisper quiet. I did already do a few little mods here as well, so I'll show you those here in a minute. But the price that I paid for this, now it does have a USB-C adapter card down there. It does have built-in Wi-Fi. It did not come with a nice extra 1 terabyte hard drive, which I wish it did, but it's okay. It does have a 500 gig NVMe into there that it came with. And let's see, what else did it have? So this computer, he said, well, look, I'm wanting to just clean out my closet, right? So you take it, you know, will you give me, you know, whatever? And he was asking $300 for this. So originally $300 for this I got for $250. He was asking $300 for this. I wasn't even going to beat him up. I said, you know, that's fine, I'll take it. $300, I'm not going to argue with you, I'll take it. So he had some other stuff that he wanted to get rid of as well, and I told him, I said, you know, I might be interested in some of it, not all of it. I'll look at it. So I grabbed the rest of this stuff. So we have a Logitech Z906 5.1 surround sound that looks, you know, almost new. And I'll get to the, you know, some of the usage that he did on this. He has a little Ethernet card, a little GT710. Hey, you know, it's great for a little video adapter for troubleshooting and everything. I'll take it. What else did he have? He also had 2 Zotac GTX 770s. These are the 2 gig versions. However, this one is brand new. Just opened the box just to show me. This one has been lightly used. It's just a little dusty right now. But he got these also for SLI, but ended up never doing that. And I do have the bridge for that as well. And he has a EVGA 650 watt gold power supply that I think he used in this build and then upgraded later and put it back. So very little use on that. Actually, very little use on everything. This was a Noctua fan that was in that other case. This was another Lian Li fan that was in another case. Here's Core i9 Extreme. And there we go, in all its glory. So here's the RAM, the two sticks or 2 kits here. Oh, I'm sorry, I said CL14. They were CL15, but still, this is like some of the best DDR4 RAM that you can buy. He does have the accessories, some of the little extra cables, hard drive caddy for one of those the Corsair case. So all the cables, boxes that everything came with, except for the video cards, the Zotacs he doesn't have. But like as far as motherboard and PSU and case stuff, I've got all that. So this is the mounting hardware for the Noctua fan. So he had this Noctua Chromax black fan on there, and then he also just had a Thermaltake fan on there. And there's the Noctua cooler. I just put it in the Thermalright case. But I upgraded to the Phantom Spirit 120 Evo. I wanted a true dual tower cooler that had some really good quad fans. I like Thermalright. I think for the price to performance, you just can't beat it. This does have RGB on it. all the fans had RGB, the motherboard, you know, everything had a little bit of RGB on it. So I was like, you know what, I'll put a little RGB in here for me. I normally don't like RGB. I like no lights at all personally, but I figure I'll try something new. You know, I might like it, and if I don't, I can always disable it later. So, but there is the Thermalright tower cooler in there, and it looks awesome. As far as the mods, what I did in here, and I'll take the side panel off here, see if I can do this one-handed without causing an accident here. Alright. Okay. I put in, it's just a piece of paper that I cut out and made a little airflow ramp for my front intake fan here to just kind of blow up there into the GTX 1080. Again, such an awesome build. He did such a good job. I think he did a better job than I did with the cable management. So also what I did was I changed that. We used to have a 120 millimeter fan. These were also, he had two extra Corsair fans, 140 millimeter, and I changed that 120 out for two 140s. He only had one at the top for exhaust, but that one is exhaust and that one is intake to help really feed this CPU. So, because Noctua came out recently and actually does show to kind of help a little bit, having at least one intake up here and then exhaust. So, you know, I just try to split it up where it's kind of, you know, blowing down and then gets sucked in. Of course, these 200 millimeter fans here are also blowing straight in. So my plans for this system right now is to leave it alone. Don't mess with it. I did have to, the memory was obviously didn't like 4000 when we set up XMP. It did not like it. Again, that 10980XE really wasn't designed for 4000. Some people have gotten it, didn't like it. I've done some tuning and whatnot, and I've got it at 3600 right now, and it seems to be pretty stable. So the tower cooler, so like I said, with the Noctua cooler, it would thermal throttle after about 2 minutes, and that's when I tested it inside before I brought it out here in the shop. I live in Texas. We've had like almost a month straight of 100 plus, you know, so it's hot in this shop. It's hot. That AC, you know, it's trying its hardest. It's old. It's on its last leg. You know, block the window and put some foam and some reflective stuff on it to try to keep it cool. It knocks the edge off. Probably knocks about 10 degrees, 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit off, you know, so it's still hot in here. I normally have this box fan running. Sometimes I'll put it in front of the AC. That is another plan eventually, is we are going to upgrade that AC and get one of those. I've seen them like U-shaped ones, like Project Farm had done a test on them and says they run cool, they're efficient. So that'll be in the plan when I get back to work and start making some money and get some money saved back up. But to help really actually maintain a level of temperature in the shop. Again, it is somewhat insulated. It's not the greatest, obviously, but we've been trying, and it is a little better. Like I said, the AC helps for sure. So, but what I was getting at was the R23 temperatures in the house. Like I said, the Noctua thermal throttle at about 2 minutes or whatever. This Thermalright 120 Evo Spirit, is that right? Phantom Spirit 120 Evo. It passed the test, the full 10 minutes, hit a temperature of 76 Celsius max. So I did it when I was out here, and you know, we're getting into the mid to high 80s out here just because of the temperature. Still perfectly fine. I'm probably never going to hit all of these cores that hard, you know, so not an issue with me. Oh, he did have a fan here blowing up from this, and I just felt like it didn't really need it. Kind of looked a little weird, and I've read that it also doesn't really perform that well like that, even though this is full mesh here. I wanted to change it out and put that little dam there, so and then it's got an 850 watt EVGA platinum as well, so again, high quality, very nice parts, like just amazing. This guy really took care of his stuff. So that is pretty much it as far as what I scored. Yeah, $300 for that, and then he gave me the sound system, the 2 Zotac cards, the 650 watt power supply. He gave me the Ethernet card and a little GT710, a couple power cables, and then this monitor stand. He threw in all that for an extra $50. So all in, I am in for $600. Right, $350 plus $250. I'm in for $600. I don't think I'm going to keep this one. Nothing wrong with it. It's actually super great. I plan on selling it, making a little bit of money, not a whole bunch, but just kind of recoup some of my cost. The GTX 770s, I'm going to sell that. Probably keep the Logitech system actually and try it out. The power supply I can definitely use for some other build. The RAM, the SSD, I'm going to keep those, use them for storage, and what I'm thinking about doing is putting another 16 gig kit in here. And the reason is so I can use this quad channel kit for another system that I'm going to be building. I think there's a guy that's got a older X99 with a 5960X, I believe. So, you know, not the greatest, but it's decent, and use this as a quad channel kit, and then leave this as a dual channel kit, and then flip this. So he had the fans this way. Maybe he did it because of the quad channel. I'll probably swap those swap the fans there. Maybe it didn't run hot. It ran perfectly fine. Nothing ran hot ever. So other than the CPU with the original cooler on this one all ran perfect. So yeah, I could maybe switch a fan there, do like what I did over here, maybe switch this front exhaust fan into an intake probably, or maybe 2 intakes here, this one and that one, 2 intakes to help supply some more fresh air. So this one I might leave alone, to be honest with you. Leave that as an intake. These are intakes. So, but what I'm planning on doing, if I do get that X99 board, I'm probably going to swap this case out and the RAM, and probably the power supply, because this power supply is way overkill for this. It's super nice. I might even drop that 650 back in here, and use that 1000 watt somewhere else. So maybe even in that new build. Again, it doesn't actually need it, but you know, I'll at least have it, or you know, be able to better utilize it, I should say. Especially if I'm planning on selling this, just put it in more of a modern case. You know, this is acrylic, surprisingly, almost no scratches, like just mint condition. Even the back panel is acrylic, and it's mint too. So that's kind of my plans, you know, kind of swap this over, keep the quad channel RAM for that X99 board. I almost want to keep the Zotacs, the brother and sister card, and you know, SLI them. SLI, I'm sorry, it's like, you know, it's not really, it's not a thing anymore. Hasn't been for a long time. A lot of games don't support it. I'm not going to be using anything that would need SLI. It's kind of like, I hate to make it go to waste, but in the end of the day, if I'm not going to use it, it's just going to be on my mind and whatnot. So I don't know, we'll see. But the reason I want to keep the case too is I'll put the drives back in and maybe use that X99 as a Blu-ray ripper, kind of an extra system there. I don't know. It does come with the graphics card, some older workstation graphics card. I mean, it's fine, but again, not what I really care for. But just something to do another little project, and so. But yeah, these are all the updates I've had. Again, I'm still in the process of working. We've got a lot of stuff to do in the shop. To give you an idea of everything that I've done, again, you couldn't walk in this shop. It had a lot of stuff in the way. There was like a little bench here. Actually, this bench was attached over here, so it stuck out to here, and it had kind of a back wall here. So you had this area over here to walk through, but it was completely packed full of tools. There was also another one of these little stands that was here that we took out to really kind of open this space up. Again, we couldn't walk through here. Done a lot. I filled up a 20-yard dumpster, and I'll probably put a picture of what those look like and the specs and size. Almost 5,000 pounds of trash, and this was stuff that really couldn't be used for anything. Yeah, maybe a random chance that someone could have used something. I mean, most of it was legitimate trash. So, but we did separate trash, what we're going to sell for garage sale stuff, and then scrap. So that's another thing that I've been doing, is scrapping a lot of iron and metal and steel and aluminum, brass, copper, everything. I'm almost done doing all that. That was, I don't know, I've probably hauled, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of steel so far out of this shop. So like, I've had almost 5 tons of material that's come out of this shop, and just, it's mind-blowing how much we've done in the last almost 2 months working here. Really, like the last month and a half, I've been here every day, because at the end of July we were fully out at the other place. So got a lot to do still. Definitely not slacking. I'm actually was excited to get the computers because they were a change of pace. Coming into this shop, seeing the same thing every day, picking up, throwing away, making a decision, do we keep it, throw it away, whatever. It was a lot. My mind was like completely done with this thing, and I'm actually kind of glad that we got these computers and give me a little break, keep my mind and put on something else. So still got the other one that I need to test, benchmark and everything. Now I actually have a spot. I literally just set this up last night as far as this computer. So, and I had a problem. I originally put this little strip here. The computer kept shutting down. Well, I tested it a little bit inside and kept shutting down. I'd game on it for 5-10 minutes, it shut down. Same thing. I got to think, I was like, well, maybe it's the shop, it's not getting enough power or whatever. Nothing was tripping. Some of these LEDs, I just bought a big box full of LEDs. I think I have a flickering problem with a few of them. I got to just change out, probably just like then. But most of them don't do that. It's just a couple here and there I got to do. But I was like, man, maybe it's a power delivery. I'm thinking, well, I need to get a UPS. I want to do that anyway, just to have no problem. That's in the works eventually, you know, get money flowing back. But I was like, well, let me try maybe set power strip or something, you know. So I put the old surge protector that I use on the inside to, you know, originally test it and all this other stuff, and gamed on it this morning for about an hour and a half, and never once dropped out. So I think it was just that power strip couldn't handle it. So it made me feel a lot nicer that the shop is at least capable of handling the power for this. So I did have to cut the shelf to get everything to but other than that, super excited. Can't wait to get on to the next finish the build and get on with the next build. So thank y'all for coming along with me on this slightly different you know, tour. See, I'm sweating. It's hot. It's already in the upper 90s right now outside, so we're in the 80s inside here. But yeah, thank y'all for coming along with me. Hope you enjoy this one. We'll get back to the proper builds and everything else here in the next few weeks, a month, or whatever. So I haven't forgot about you. They're still coming. I've got several builds ready at least till the end of the year. So anyway, we will see y'all on the next one. Thank y'all for coming along. If you would like, comment. We just hit 50 subscribers, I just seen. So thank you all for everything that you've done, giving me the time of your day. I know you don't have to, and I appreciate it greatly. Really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I do have a plan for when we hit 100 subscribers to do something, and that's it. That's all you're gonna know. So thank you again for coming along, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.